voted, Kieran?
Nah, I'm doing it in the morning.
I'm also doing it tomorrow.
Here's my question.
Yep.
Do you think anybody's mind has ever been changed by somebody like at the voting booth, like handing out pamphlets and shit?
I think people being more informed sometimes. Like maybe there's somebody that actually like takes the time to read that stuff. I think political tactics in general are fucking like most are really bad. Like it's actually like in my area, it's gotten kind of despicable with some of the. There's like one independent that's very popular. We're a national Liberal seat, and there's one independent very popular. It's really scummy how where the Nationals are going and the Liberals are going to like
What are they
try
doing?
and like they're doing stuff like
Sabotage.
what you think this person's independent?
Sabotage.
Really, they're not independent. They're really backed by Labour money, and they have like a picture of like the Premier Dan Andrews like with a picture of the person. It's like the fuck.
It's
is
like
going on?
photoshopped,
It's
and
like,
he's holding like a bag of cash.
yeah,
Like,
yep. And like I got a letter in the mail yesterday. And I opened it up, and it was like a letter that had been typed out as if somebody had just typed it out in Word. No letterhead, just like a. It was supposed to look like it was just like it was printed out. Somebody's written off Word, but down the bottom it's like this advertisement's been paid by the Nationals Party or whatever, and it was like, "Hi, I'm Andy, and I'm going to talk to you. I've written this letter to you to talk about why you should vote for Nationals." I'm like, my God, what is this bullshit? Like this kind of stuff just makes me want to vote for people less, you know. Like it's just don't. I don't want to vote for you anyway. So, but now you're just making.
how do I take more votes off of you? Is there a way to deduct votes?
Like it's it is. It's crazy. How about both of you? How are your voting worlds going right now?
Ash has done his, right?
The same.
I did mine like early voting for the win. It's like why?
The thing is, right, to do early, I work outside of my town, and like the chances of me going to the early voting station is no shot.
And they've been over.
I don't know. They've got like lots of different early voting. Well, I don't know what it's like in Shepton, but like there's like I want to say 30-kilometer radius around. Like they'll let you put it in, even like out of town. They'll still let you put a vote in.
I work 40 kilometers away, Ashley. So
You could have you could have also applied for mail-in voting, but there was a
Mail-in
cutoff.
voting.
I got a mail-in. It's fine.
Yeah.
We're gonna walk down. I think we're just gonna walk down with the dogs in the morning because it's like living outside
nearby.
of Shep.
Is it weird if
fine.
I say
Yeah.
I purposely chose not to because I want to go just to see what it's like? Because it's been a while.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Have you never been before? Have you never?
Oh, of course
you
I've
never
been.
been
Like, how old do you
before?
think I am? Like,
No, I know, but like maybe
this
you've
your
always
first
done
time voting?
mail-ins. Maybe
no.
you've
I
always done
usually go.
mail-ins
I
or
just
something.
I don't know. I think there's I've had like a weird thing in my head where I'm like, you know, hopefully Scott Morrison, well, presumably hopefully Scott Morrison.
Listen, this comes out Monday after the
Yeah,
election.
yeah, I
obviously,
know.
So all this relevant
it's
is
God,
kind of
yeah.
irrelevant.
I'll try
So-
to not talk too much about ifs. And
This is when we still had hope.
Yeah.
You know, that
But, like,
things could change.
I'm kind of like going in. I don't know. I just want to catch the vibe. You know, I just want to see what it's like. I don't know. I'm weird like that. I just want to know. I just want to see. I don't know.
I just want a democracy sausage, you know?
No, democracy
Like-
sausage. Someone at work today said, "Has everyone voted?" I'm like, "No, I got to go get my democracy sausage." Like, come on now.
I've never had a democracy sausage.
Yeah, that's your problem.
You've never had a democracy sausage. That's where you're fucking up.
all the
That's where
places
you're
I've
losing
voted,
life.
they've
It's
never
like-
had like a sausage sizzle, or like I've gone later in
It's
the
like-
day and they're all gone.
Yeah, that's your problem. You're missing out.
That's why you don't go later in the day. You have to go in the morning. You have to go
And
in
that's
the
why I
morning.
hate democracy.
You get up. You go vote.
I like how it's been 2
Um,
weeks and we're just back to
you-
democracy sausages.
I mean,
Democracy sausage.
that's the
Look.
that's the
two-
price at the end of the rainbow. I mean, if they had democracy sausage in the US, there'd be much higher voter turnout. I mean, also it's compulsory here, so I mean that's the other major difference. But
True. two best places to eat sausages: voting and Bunnings.
Bunnings.
Like,
Yeah.
you just
Yeah.
like it's just like that. They're the prime locations for sausage and bread. Like, and then it falls down a little bit, and then it's like farmers markets and stuff like that, and you know anything. Like
supermarket,
that.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
Supermarket.
yeah.
I don't know.
It's like you have to cook it yourself. I mean,
You have
do
to
your
cook
own
it
sausages.
yourself. So,
It's
wait,
the
are you
DIY.
saying you're taking like a little Weber barbecue to the supermarket with you, setting it up, getting the sausage going.
No,
Fuck
what I'm
yeah,
saying is you
now.
buy the sausages and you have to cook it.
But then
I
you're not
think
eating it at the supermarket.
But you buy it there. It's where you buy it, right?
That doesn't count.
If you get the okay, I think the saddest thing that I've seen like people do to like market for the election for their candidate or whatever is they'll just put like the little placard thing on the side of the road. They just wave as if that's going to do anything. Oh, there's a person there. I'll make sure I take notice of who that person's name is.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen most people here. It's been maybe I think the last I saw was like 3, and then maybe the highest maybe like 8 to 10. Like they've got the big signs. They point at the sign and wave it at you as they're going past, and the sign will say like vote 1, whatever. Like so, but they're pointing at the sign, so that makes sense. I feel like.
I guess, but
If
again,
you're gonna do that, it's better than just wave. Like,
yeah, I guess it makes more sense, more relevant as to what, rather than you going for a second. Oh, is that somebody I know? Is that why they're waving at me?
yeah. No, as
No,
for the whole like do the pamphlets work thing, I would say they do for a type of person. It has to be the type of person who is a centrist or whatever. I mean, like someone who
I to be honest, it's probably for the people who don't care and are just doing it because they have to.
yeah.
Yes,
Like,
at the
whoever
end of
gives
day,
me the
you're
pamphlet
trying
first
to-
is one button involved.
I guarantee someone
I'm
probably does
surprised-
that. That wouldn't surprise me.
I'm surprised people don't start like giving away free shit, but I guess that might not be,
Yeah, I think that's probably
It's
illegal.
probably
That's probably illegal. But like here, have a stubby holder with your candidate's name on it as you're walking. out.
there's probably a reason why. Yeah.
There's probably a
Yeah,
reason why it
that's
makes
probably
sense.
very good.
But voting, democracy, it's a good thing. As long as they're not the person that tackled a kid.
Oh man, jeez.
We're all in an uproar out here at the moment in Tassie. We're marching in the streets. Where there was a car
How
crash.
could he like tackle these kids?
Yeah. It's fucking
Dude, he
outrageous.
is not having a good time in. He's not having a good time in Tassie because that happened to him.
His time's about to get
car
worse.
Crash?
We hope.
Didn't he crash his car in Tassie or something, or somebody like
Yeah,
connected
one
to
of
him
his,
crashed their car,
one
or
of
a
his, like-
bodyguard people or whatever.
Yeah.
security
people.
detail like ended up in bit.
in like a road
Yeah.
rage
Yeah.
incident, I think, as well.
Mhm.
Damn,
Yeah.
Dangerous down here. You know what I mean?
it's the Wild
Yeah,
West
they
in
could've-
Tasmania.
Hey,
They're
go look
crazy
out.
down there.
Wild
Go look out.
West.
Go look out.
They're cold and they're angry.
Does anyone's family like not care? Like, for example, my mum, my whole life has been a very like I don't care about politics. I don't even like voting. I remember when I was like a teenager, and like I found out she used to just like do a donkey vote or whatever. I was like, nah, mum, you can't do.
I mean, that's better than just voting for anybody.
True, to a degree, but I'm also like, I don't know. I was talking about it to family, like with my nan and pop or something, like a couple weeks ago, where I was like going over. Again, I don't know why I get into these fucking conversations with my family sometimes, but it was the whole like, man, like everyone complains it's a fucking we have to vote here when all these people in America can't vote even though they want to. I'm like, you don't know how good you have it to be able to vote. Like, I was going down this whole
To be
fucking
required to vote, yeah.
I was like, you don't know how good you have it to be able to require to vote. But yeah, it was like one of those scenarios where, grandparents are like, what do you mean everyone in America can't vote? I'm like, these poor, then I'll start going down like,
Poor people, they hold the election on a
poor
Tuesday.
things,
There's
the black
know what
neighborhoods, they target them, like all this. Like I start going down all the like,
So-
yeah, so,
gerrymandered and
yeah.
require IDs.
Yeah.
You don't need an ID. You come in, you say any random
Yeah.
name.
They
Guess-
charge you like
as long as you know the
$200. They
suburb.
charge you like $200 to get a fucking ID so you can vote, and people can't afford to pay for their groceries as well. Don't tell me this isn't a fuck system. You should be lucky it's mandatory to vote here. You fucks.
Well, it's like the thing is, right? You should vote, and you should vote properly for one good reason, and so you have the right to complain. So
Yeah, it's
either way, if you
So you can wash your
Yeah,
hands of
but-
everything. It's like, not my fault. I voted for the other guy.
not my fault. I
Yeah.
I voted. I didn't vote for this person.
I honestly feel like
Yeah.
it's a weird thing. So like, my brother is really into politics, right? So to the degree like he'll like to the nitty gritty stuff. And when I think like if someone says like, oh, into politics, I think like that's sort of the level. But then I find it weird when people are like, I don't really care about voting. I'm not into politics. I'm like, I don't think you need to be in politics to understand, to get like a bare minimum understanding of like who you want to use your one vote
Who
for.
do you
Like,
want to run the
like
country?
you don't need to care about like rates on fucking roads and, you know, like nitty gritty stuff like that to get a bare understanding of the basics. Like, I don't feel like that's having an understanding of politics. It's just normal life, right? It's not a political issue. I don't feel like it is. Right?
No. And the only one that gets me is people who, and I get this on social media a little bit, and I guess more in people that I know of, and I don't mean to offend anybody, it's often a Green supporter.
Hey, it's
and
me.
Like, they will, it's not you, you're not bad.
But I'm a Green
like,
supporter.
it's these people that, like, they post the Green supporter, but, like, they clearly don't actually understand any of the Greens' policies, or they clearly, like, haven't actually done any research or anything, but they are, like, standing Greens. You see them commenting on posts about everything for the Greens, and you're like, it's yes, we understand the Greens are, you know, environmentally friendly and positive in that way, and probably better than Liberal and Labour in most occasions. Same time, a bit of research, peeps, before you start flying.
I get asked about this because I don't. So I've been voting Green for, I don't know, like maybe this would be probably my third election, right? I think that I've just voted Green, and I remember I used to not like telling anyone because it was like,
It's personal.
I do have to, like, yeah, it's a personal thing. Like, it's
people don't like saying who they vote for, which is fine. I don't feel like people, you shouldn't have to feel. I don't mind saying, because I don't know, I'm at a stage where I just don't care. But for a while, I definitely didn't like saying, because people would like get old, especially if you said you voted Green. They're like, oh, you're fucking hippie.
I feel like,
you know, like, oh, you're fucking like tree hugger.
Green,
you know, like.
It's not even for me. I think you vote Green, you end up with the stigmatism of, so you wasted your vote.
Yeah,
like that is the very common response to it, and I think, you know.
To which my argument is, it's that exact thought process that has led us to have a two-party system. Which so the number one, so like someone at work asked me recently, it's like, oh, who you vote for? I said Green. They're like, oh, really? Sorry, I was making jokes about Greenies the other day. I was like, I don't care. It's fine. I don't care. Because the thing is, like, people who make Greenie jokes, quite often, it's just about, oh, they're gonna like fucking make us all like take away the cows and you can't eat meat. It's always like the most outrageous shit that just isn't going to happen, right? But like the number one reason I say as to like why it's not a waste of a vote, and number one reason I like voting Green is because I just hate the two-party system that, like, as a country we're stuck in. I don't agree with every single policy that the Greens have. I don't need to. Like, I don't feel like there's like,
when you look at it,
it's not really how it works. Like,
the thing about policies is, like, only 5 to 10% of policies actually get cashed through and get followed through on. Like, it's just because there's so many. Like, I've been looking at the I don't know if it's the Australian Socialist Party or the Victorian Socialist Party, but there is a Socialist Party at the moment that is, I've seen advertised a little bit, and I was reading through their policies and stuff, and some of them I was like, fucking hell, this is interesting, and I would really find it very interesting to see how it's worked. Like, I think one of them was any tax for anybody above 300k, like as soon as you earn more than 300k, which is an obscene amount, sure, those people, every dollar after that 300k gets 95 or 90% taxed. Like, you would get like 10 cents out of every dollar. I'm like, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's a bit extreme.
Most of these policies, I don't know. But yeah, as you're saying, most of them don't end up happening anyway, so it doesn't really.
You feel like
matter.
They reach for the stars. They shoot far.
They promise
so
the
like
world, and then
the realistic ones that they actually want to do and think are manageable seem less astronomical in terms of stuff.
Because
okay, we'll build this road.
Yeah. My thing is, like, that's why I just hate if I look between Labour and Liberal, I go, I really don't like Scott Morrison. Like, he's a piece of shit.
Oh, he needs to go.
Yeah, but then it's like we're led as a country, I guess, to go, well, who's the other guy then? And then you look over there and go, Albanese.
I'm also like,
Like, he's better, but okay. But the fact it's like, I guess he'll do. Like, the fact that there isn't even, like, I could vote for someone else. Like, you can. Like, I know that I'm saying this on Monday after you voted, but I mean, I just hate the whole, like, you know, it's not a waste of a vote. I mean, you can vote for whoever the fuck you want. So, and if more people,
it's not, because technically you're not voting for the prime minister. You're voting for your local.
You're voting for your local, exactly. So at the end of the day, it's not. And Greens, like, for example, going back to Green things, Greens people have got in certain areas. That's the thing. They'll be like, it's a waste of a vote because they don't win the majority. It's like, okay, but like, how many seats do they get around the country? And they usually get some seats.
That can be important if it's like a tight race between the two parties. It's like whoever's the extra, like the independents or the Greens or the smaller parties, like they get the power in those situations. Yeah. So, it just, you know, it can work out.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because we see so many American politics on TV that everyone thinks that you're just voting.
I mean, yeah, American politics is very different, where it's Republican or Democrat and independent.
The American
you're voting for a guy or girl, whatever. You're voting for the dude on TV. You know?
The best thing that could possibly happen for American politics is if they did, like, if Trump broke away from the Republican Party and like took the extreme right out of there, and then there would be, and then you would assume the left would probably end up doing a similar thing.
Well, it's the exact same thing.
And then you have a bit more, even a different spread.
Yeah, if you look at American politics, it's the same. It's like Trump's the right. It's like the right. He's not. He's like extremist right. And then it's like, well, what's Biden? Apparently, he's the left. He's not the fucking left.
He's
like
right.
He's like
left.
He's like centrist. You know what I mean? So it's like, well, where's the left? Where's the actual left to counter the far right?
Well, the right is so far right. Yeah. It's like, where's the center anymore?
The biggest problem in America, though, other than the two party system, is the weighted votes. That like a vote in one state is worth more than a vote in other states.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, there's a lot of problems with American voting system.
Yeah. It's just their voting in general is fucked. But politics, for most people listening, and maybe even for us here in the podcast, you know, as of when you're listening to this, politics is probably done for the 4 years. You know, you're probably like, I don't care
unless it's cold early again or whatever.
Yeah. But then you got state elections.
You got state elections.
Local elections.
Yeah.
You know, the best thing that will happen is hopefully we won't see any more of those stupid Australia Party ads for a while.
Everyone keeps talking about this song and I've never seen it.
I haven't seen the song either.
Yeah, it's on
the other one I've been seeing is people getting.
I'm sick of the color yellow at the moment. Oh,
I'm sick of the YouTube ads.
Text messages. I'm sick of seeing the color yellow and it not being a cyberpunk delay message. It's like, what the fuck? I think I just stole your. Was that your tweet actually? That I just there was somebody's tweet I just stole. So. It might have been Buddy's even. Buddy will tell me if it's his. I'll probably owe him a frozen Coke or something.
I get sick of these. So the Clive Palmer ones, he'll start the ad and he's like talking to his little war and whatever. They go for like half an hour. So like sometimes I put on a video at work on one of the computers, for example, and then I disappear for like 30 minutes. I come back. Clive Palmer's been giving a speech to the store for like fucking 20 minutes before I can turn him off. I nearly want to charge the company for fucking YouTube Premium.
So not to derail political talk, but I've brought something to the show that I want to complain about.
Are you doing show and tell?
Not necessarily show and tell because
just tell and complain.
Wait, can I just say one thing that I found really interesting in this election? Did you know apparently there's like ghost candidates?
No.
What?
Like especially for like the Australia Party.
I do. The people
One Nation.
Yes, I do actually know that.
People just register for a district or whatever,
and they don't live there.
But never don't live there. No. Yeah. Never campaign or anything.
Yeah, I was looking into ones either for here or Vic. Either way, one of the dudes is actually in New South Wales. So, yeah.
Well, what if
crazy.
They win?
I don't know how it works because in my mind I'm like that's illegal, but I mean I don't understand. So yes, but
I mean it's not technically because there's like a couple of candidates.
It's not technically, but in my mind it should be. So
it's pretty unethical. Yes. But that's interesting because it's not free to like put your name on the ballot, but apparently it was like a visual things like we've got candidates in every single district.
It was actually really interesting. With there was a couple of YouTubers last year ran for London's mayor, and it was really interesting to see like you have to pay like $10,000 or whatever to be a part of it, but you only get your money back if you get like a certain amount of the vote.
That's
Like, you
that's
need a
also why
percentage
all
of the
these
vote.
candidates put in.
Yeah.
Like if they have a certain amount of votes, like the party has a certain amount of votes across the country, a percentage, I think, then they get like money from the government or whatever. So
It's all scheme. Pyramid scheme.
game in the system.
Yeah. But off
that.
Go ahead and complain. What do you got to complain
Segue.
about?
Dylan, you've experienced this as a TCG player, discounting the Pokemon TCG stuff lately.
Oh, we're going back into complaining about card games now.
It's actually not,
politics,
but it kind
card
of
games. That's all it is for
politics
weeks.
and card
now.
games.
It's very
No.
similar.
This looks different, right?
If only our politics was solved by Pokemon the card game.
Card games are annoying
Time to
because and stuff like this,
do.
and they've done it with like other things. We've done it with other video games. Have done this before, where you buy something and then a couple months later, the developer, the designer, the company that runs it goes to you. No, you can't use that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We've now banned it, or we're cycling it out of
standard rotation or
standard
like
rotation.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's really frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
New thing that's done it this week. Fucking D&D.
What'd they do?
So D&D and D&D Beyond, their kind of their digital online platform.
I saw they were giving away
This
a book
week,
for free.
There's new books being given away, which is a good thing. Lost One of Fandelver, and I think there was one other book that's being given away today, which you should pick up. But recently, if you anything into Dungeons and Dragons, you might have seen there's ads for their latest book, which brags about 250 monsters available in 30 plus character races. And what they have done is pretty much reprint 2 books as 1 book. And quote unquote discontinue 2 books.
Is that bad?
Like, it's just very. So, pretty much me buying this book this week without fully realizing this, just bought a bunch of shit I already had. That's been, like, tweaked and updated slightly.
Is this your fault
Like-
for not researching that?
No.
Are we sure?
I'm pretty sure it is. It's like a comic book. It's like a comic book publisher publishing a new version of a new volume 1 of a comic book series. There's like 2 or 3 like volumes put together,
It's not even
like a thicker copy.
It's like, okay, Star Wars fans that... No, it's not even Star Wars fans like that.
You're gonna you're gonna have to search for a very small niche.
No, but it's just very weird how they don't really make a big thing out of it being a new book or
What was it called?
So the new book is Monsters of the Multiverse, which multiverse is, of course, the
cool
thing right now.
Go check out Everything Everywhere All at Once,
which is realistically a combination of Mordecai.
Here's the description, Kieran.
Does it actually say that?
Sparkling with the musings of the wizard Mordecai, this tome features a host of creatures for use in the Dungeons & Dragons role-playing game. Compiling and updating monsters that originally appeared in previous D&D 5th edition releases, these creatures represent some of the most benevolent and malevolent forces D&D heroes might face. That's the back page quote before getting into the...
that's
includes
fine.
150 monsters, updates to monsters including making spellcasters easier for dungeon masters, blah, 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 blah. So I don't... this is just the Amazon page. I don't know if I looked into it more, it might list exact things, but it does clearly say update and new, so...
Yeah, so, all that stuff that you had previously is old and, not worth anything, so...
You can sell the other books and you've got 1 book now just taking up the space on your shelf.
Well, I can't because it...
But collectors might want them,
how do I give somebody... And this kind of then ties into our recent discussion on NFTs.
You went digital, right?
How do I give somebody a digital copy of the book?
Yeah, digital.
Well, I mean, that's when you go, hey, my credit card got... No.
Nope.
Got hacked, yeah.
Nope.
Did you say, I can't remember what they called it. I wrote the news post for it, but I can't remember. From that event they did a month or so back. There was that release. It comes with a bunch of monster figures and all sorts of things cutouts, and it was pretty cool. And there was a map piece. It was pretty cool, piece of gear. I don't know. I'm going to find out what this calls real quick. Let's do it live.
You find out what it's
called. If I go Explosion Network, Dungeons...
See, when you started this story, I thought what you were bringing up is, did you see that they've unbanned one of the classic Yu-Gi-Oh
I did
cards.
see that.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
did
That's
see
why
that.
I was saying the jewel. I was like,
Also
are you
that, I
thinking- I was
did
like,
see
if
that.
you
I
weirdly
did
dipped
see
it back
that.
into fucking.
It's really
Yu-Gi-Oh
weird because
somewhere.
this is also realigned with me and this random YouTube black hole I found down the other day of somebody that like breaks down the Yu-Gi-Oh jewels from the TV show and like breaks down like turn by turn and being like, well, this character actually could have just won this duel like right here, and this guy misplayed just right here, and if he'd done this, and this, he'd actually do this, and he would have just won.
No, he's right.
And it's actually kind of weirdly interesting, just like
Yugi would never make mistakes. That's bullshit.
you know, apparently he is the
Or
He
Kaito
always plays the
Saber.
best card at the best time.
It's called the terrain and creature case. There's a terrain one and there's a creature case. Comes with a bunch of cool shit. It's in a fancy box. I thought it was cool. And then the other thing I forgot to mention from that, because I don't think we've talked about it, there's this Spelljammer Adventure in Space book that's coming out, new one.
Yeah, it's like
that shit
you get
looks cool.
spaceships
Bunch of
and
new
shit.
races and shit. I was like, this shit looks hype.
Mm.
I like it. There's like space elves. I'm like, fuck yeah, space elves. Get about
Space. But you know
Who
what? I
doesn't
will
want
say
elves in space?
that is like Wizards of the Coast like bread and butter is okay, we need to fill out new races, insert new type of elf with
And- Reading through my news story, they've invented a group of hippos called GIFs. Like,
gifts.
or
Sure, they're not called GIFs.
yeah, I was gonna say or GIFs. I don't know. In space, no one can hear you GIF. So
Oh,
that was
that's
good
right.
shit.
It was Acquisitions Incorporated. How do I get this? I'm just gonna look this up.
Do that, and then I reckon let's record Arcade Couch.